History often remembers Adolf Hitler as a monster, a static figure of pure evil, but to view him only as a monster is to miss the most terrifying lesson of the 20th century. Monsters don't just appear, they are built, they are invited. How does one man rise from obscurity to become the leader of a nation and then lead the world into one of the deadliest wars in history? Adolf Hitler was born in 1889 in Austria. As a child, his life was unstable. He had a strict father and a more caring mother, to whom he was deeply attached. Hitler dreamed of becoming an artist, but his plans fell apart when he was rejected twice from the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. The Academy told him he had unfitness for painting. After his mother died, he struggled financially. For the next 5 years, he lived in poverty, selling postcards to survive and sleeping in men's hostels. It was here, in the shadows of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, that his resentment began to rot into ideology. He began to blame outsiders, intellectuals, and minorities for his own failures. Everything changed when World War I began. He joined the German army and served as a soldier. For the first time, he found purpose, but when Germany surrendered in 1918, it left him angry, bitter, and searching for someone to blame. That moment became a turning point. After the war, Germany was in crisis, economically and politically unstable. Under the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was humiliated, stripped of its land, and buried under impossible debt. Then came the hyperinflation. By 1923, a loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks. People were losing their life savings in a single afternoon. In this chaos, Hitler found his weapon, the microphone. He joined a small political group that would later become the Nazi Party and quickly realized he had a terrifying gift for public speaking. He didn't offer complex policies. He offered someone to blame. He promised to make Germany great again. He used emotional speeches, strong messaging, and propaganda to gain attention and support. He used the big lie, the idea that if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually believe it. He used the people's receiver, a cheap radio that ensured his voice was in every living room in Germany. Over time, his influence grew, and in 1933, Adolf Hitler became the leader of Germany. January 30th, 1933. Hitler is the Chancellor of Germany, but he is not yet the law. He is one leader in a fragile coalition, watched closely by President Hindenburg. But Hitler has no intention of sharing power. Less than a month later, the Reichstag, the home of German parliament, burns to the ground. Hitler immediately seizes the moment. He blames the communists, stokes a national panic, and pressures the government into passing the emergency decree. In a single night, the German people lose their right to free speech, a free press, and privacy. But the final blow comes with the Enabling Act. Through a mixture of intimidation and political lies, Hitler convinces the parliament to vote away its own power. He now has the legal authority to make laws without anyone's consent. Democracy didn't die in darkness in Germany. It voted for its own execution. By 1934, Hitler has another problem: his own people. The SA, his millions of brown shirts led by his old friend Ernst Röhm, are becoming too powerful and too radical. The German army and big business owners are nervous. Hitler makes a cold-blooded choice. On June 30th, known as the Night of the Long Knives, he orders his elite SS to execute Röhm and hundreds of other potential rivals within his own party. When the dust settles, Hitler has shown the world that no one, not even his closest allies, is safe from his path to absolute power. When President Hindenburg dies shortly after, Hitler merges the roles of president and chancellor. He is no longer just a politician. He is the Führer. To the outside world, Germany looks like a miracle. Unemployment, which was at 6 million, seemingly vanishes. The Autobahn highway system begins to stretch across the country. Huge rallies in Nuremberg show a nation in perfect, terrifying synchronization. But this economic miracle is a hollow facade. Unemployment disappeared because women and Jewish people were stripped of their jobs and removed from the statistics. The economy is now a war economy, fueled by massive debt and secret rearmament. Hitler is building a machine, and that machine is designed for one thing: conquest. In 1935, the regime codifies its hatred into law. The Nuremberg laws are passed, officially stripping Jewish Germans of their citizenship. They are forbidden from marrying non-Jewish Germans. They are legally subjects, not citizens. This is the legal phase of the Holocaust. By dehumanizing a portion of the population through the law, Hitler prepares the public for the physical violence that is to come. Hitler's eyes now turn toward Lebensraum, living space. He believes Germany must expand to survive. In 1938, he annexes Austria. Months later, he takes the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia. The world leaders follow a policy of appeasement, hoping that if they give him what he wants, he will stop. They are wrong. On September 1st, 1939, Hitler's tanks roll into Poland. The Second World War has begun. As the war rages, Hitler's final solution begins. This is the darkest chapter in human history. The systematic, industrial-scale murder of 6 million Jews, along with millions of Romani, people with disabilities, and political dissidents. It is not just war, it is a factory of death. But the machine Hitler built is destined to burn. By 1945, the Allied and Soviet armies are closing in on Berlin. The 1,000-year Reich has lasted only 12 years. On April 30th, 1945, deep in a concrete bunker beneath the ruins of his capital, Adolf Hitler takes his own life. His fall was inevitable. History shows us that influence is powerful. Leadership can build, but it can also destroy. Hitler's story is not one of success, it's a warning of what happens when power is driven by hate, manipulation, and unchecked control. The most terrifying part of this story isn't just one man. It's how an entire civilized nation was convinced to follow him. Looking at the world today, what do you think is the biggest warning sign we should be looking for to prevent history from repeating itself?